remembering process, the body's nice and warm now. We're ready to move into some stronger poses. So typically this is the part of the practice that we move into some standing sequences. Before you get started, it might be handy to have maybe something like a block. If you don't have a block handy, a really big, fat, thick book will also do the trick, or anything that has a little bit of thickness but it's solid enough for you to use through the practice or to lean on in some way. So pop that there roughly around the middle of the mat, and we're going to get started. So coming to stand at the front of your mat, taking a nice big step back with your left foot. From here, make sure that the arch of your front foot is aligned, that heel of your front foot is aligned with the arch of your back foot. We're going to sink into the front knee, so that's your right knee, just bending the knee. And what you're looking for here is a right angle with the knee. If the knee's too far forward in particular, you're creating some strain through the knee joint. So we want to make sure that knee joint's nice and safe, nice and steady and secure. The outside edge of the back foot is parallel with the back edge of the mat. All those toes are pointed in slightly. And you're pushing down through the outer edge of the back foot, and you're pushing down through the front big toe here. This is the foundation for a pose called Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. It's a really fundamental pose in our yoga practice and a very strengthening pose. To finish it off, we bring the arms and float them at shoulder height, pushing out through the fingertips. So feel like you're pressing out through the back fingers, pressing out through the front fingers, and then we'll turn our gaze to rest over the front middle finger. Take a nice breath in and a slow breath out as you settle into the pose here. We're going to turn this into a dynamic movement, and as you inhale, turn the front palm to face towards the ceiling and gently sweep the fingers up and back, taking the back hand down to the back leg as you do. Keep the gaze underneath the armpit and find a lovely lift and stretch through the right side of the body. On the exhalation, come back to Warrior 2. Let's do that a couple more times. Breathing in, coming back, this is called Dancing Warrior or Reverse Warrior. Breathing out, Warrior 2. Breathing in, extending and opening through the right fingers, the right side of the body. Exhaling, relaxing back into Warrior 2. Drawing the breath in and up, opening and expanding. Releasing the breath, exhaling, softening. One more round, breathing in, find the dance, and breathing out, relax. Take the hands to the hips. This is where you're going to want that block or that book handy. And then just turn your toes, your right toes in to face towards the long edge of the mat. So both of our toes, both sets of toes are pointing towards the long edge of the mat. And we've got a nice V shape with the body. We're going to come into a forward bend here. And in this particular movement, we're going to fold forward and then we're going to lift into a flat back. So I'm going to move sideways just so that you can see what this movement's going to look like. I'm going to have my blocks just here a little bit further forward from my feet. And as I take a big breath in, lengthen through the spine, the folding forward motion, we come down and fold the body in half. And then from here, this is where you might come to the fingertips to a flat back, or this is where you might want to use that block so that you can extend through the spine, engage through the belly, and then we fold forward. So taking your position when you feel ready, feet nice and wide, big breath in, and as you breathe out, gently fold forward. On the inhalation, bring the hands to the block or hands to the floor, lift and extend the crown of your head forward. Exhale, fold, and soften the back of the head. Inhale, lift, extend the crown of the head forward, engage the belly, nice flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and extend. Exhale, fold and release. Inhale, flat back, long spine, strong belly. Exhale, forward fold. One more time, inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, releasing. Hold here in the forward bend now for a few moments, letting the top of the head soften towards the floor. So I'm standing up so I can talk to you. Press down through both sides of the feet nice and evenly and really try to soften through the whole back side of the body. Let that stretching, that opening happen just through the natural course and force of gravity. And then when you feel ready, with a strong belly and a long inhalation, bring yourself all the way up to a standing position. From here, just all you have to do is turn your left toes now to point towards the front of the mat, and your right toes will be pointing like lengthwise along the short edge of the mat. Left toes pointing forward, right foot outer edge parallel to the short edge of the mat. Sink into that front left knee. Remember, we've got a right angle. If we go too far forward, we're going to strain the knee. Even if we're too far back, that can create some strain. So finding a nice stacking of the joints, pressing down to the outer edge of the back foot, pressing into the big toe on the front foot, and floating the arms up, really stretching, activating some energy from fingertip to fingertip, and gazing forward over the front left fingers. Breathing in and out as you settle into what's known as our Warrior Two pose. And then we're going to make this more dynamic as we inhale, turn front palm to ceiling, and sweep the fingertips up and back like we're painting a rainbow in the sky. Exhale, coming back. Try to keep everything from the waist down immobile and only moving from the waist up. Breathing in, sweeping and opening. Breathing out, sinking into Warrior Two. Opening up, coming into your reverse warrior, and then dancing back to Warrior Two. Breathing in, lengthening through the left side of the body, and breathing out. Taking one more round, gently in, and then very slowly out. Taking the hands to the hips, very gently turn the toes towards you, and take a nice big breath in, and then from here just allow yourself to roll all the way down into a forward bend. So staying in that forward bend, allowing your spine to be nice and long, the head to be heavy, and to just gently find a nice release through the body and a softening in the breath after doing some very, very strong work. When you're ready, I'd like you to engage through your spine and very gently roll yourself up one vertebra at a time as you come to an upright standing position. And then from here, we are going to do a little bit more standing work, little bit more strengthening work, and that's going to get you nice and warm and definitely feeling very, very energized. From here, I want you to bring your feet together or hip width apart. So either of these positions is okay, depends on how advanced you are in your practice. Hip width apart is the safest place for us to be. Feet together is a little more advanced. So you decide what position is good for you. And I'm just going to move sideways so you can see me properly. From here, just very gently sinking the tailbone down towards the heels. Now, whenever we come into what's known as chair pose, quite often we get a big overextension in the lower back, and that really, really strains the back. And for me right now, that feels very uncomfortable. So it's super important to tuck the tailbone down and create an opening in the lower back. Now, you can stay here with your hands down. You can bring your hands to shoulder height, or you can bring the arms right up beside the ears. Just notice how the spine extends again, and you need to consciously tuck the tailbone down and engage the core and protect the back. So I prefer to keep my arms here at shoulder height when I do this pose. Take a nice big breath in and a slow breath out as you sink into your chair pose and find a little bit of heat, a little bit of warmth building in the body. Very, very gently, release a little bit through the legs. Take a big breath in and then tuck the chin to the chest and roll down into a forward bend. I want you to stay here. I'm going to stand back up so I can talk to you a little bit. And find that release in the forward bend, lengthening through the back side of the body and a softening through the breath. So use this as a moment of rest after that very strong work you were just doing in your child's pose. If you're in your forward bend still, very gently breathe in, engage your belly and roll yourself back to an upright position. We're going to sink back into our chair. Remember to check in with your spine, not to overextend too much. Get the tailbone down, and you can choose where you'd like to have the arms up at the middle height or just resting on your thighs. And then from here, we're going to come into a twist. So just taking the hands to a position at the chest, prayer position here, gently just twisting, and then maybe reaching the left hand to the right thigh, right hand to the back, and looking over the right shoulder. Holding here in the twist, breathing in, and breathing out, working to keep the knees in line with one another, and the hips in line. Gently breathe in, allow the rest of the body to follow. Soften through the legs, breathing in, tuck the chin to the chest, roll through the spine, and take a nice release in your forward bend. I'm going to come to stand, but I want you to stay in the forward bending position as you breathe in and breathe out. Breathing in and breathing out. On the next inhale, belly to spine as it rolls you all the way to a nice upright position. We're going to get ready to come into that twist on the other side. So sinking back into your chair pose, making sure again that you've got your tailbone tucking down. You can have the hands at shoulder height or up by the ears or down on the legs, whatever feels good for you. And then when you're ready, bring the hands together, palms together at the chest. Take a nice big breath in and just gently twist to the left. You can stay here, or you can reach right hand to left thigh, left hand to sacrum. Just double check the knees are in line with each other and you're not wobbling too far or throwing the hips out of alignment. We want to keep the lower back and the sacrum nice and steady, nice and stable, nice and safe. Gazing over the back shoulder if that feels good for your neck. And breathing steadily in and slowly out. Doesn't look like much, but once you're in the pose, it's really, really challenging. Keep the belly engaged into the spine and soften the breath. Gazing forward, letting the rest of the body follow, softening through the legs, breathing in, gently rolling through the spine, folding all the way down into a standing forward bend. Let the head be heavy. Shake the head yes and no. I'm standing up, but I want you to stay in your forward bend. And allow the breath to start to calm and soften again. And then when you feel ready, on the next inhalation, belly engages to spine. Gently roll yourself all the way up to a standing position. And release. Take a minute here. Maybe stand up nice and tall in what we call mountain pose. Turn the palms forward. Make sure the heels are underneath the hips. Relax the shoulders back and down, but lift the crown of the head. Draw the chin to the chest. And press down to the big toe, the little toe, and the center of your heel. Breathing in and breathing out. Just noticing how it is that you're feeling. I'll see you again soon in our next sequence, which is going to take us down into our balance poses.